UNC versus Duke. Duke is already reeling after losing to St. John's. They travel to Durham Hill. I mean, it's obviously close to Duke, but still a huge loss at Chapel Hill and a huge win for the UNC for North Carolina. Joel Berry, Kenny Williams putting up 6 threes. He just kept spotting up and hitting clutch ones in the second half. UNC started the second half with a 16-2 run. And it was a really good game. First half, Bagley's got it going. You got good players, back and forth game. And then second half, you see where UNC sort of took over here. Hitting threes. Theo Pinson with the rebound. Lucas May doing stuff. The offensive rebounding was huge. They just kept getting rebounds. Cameron Johnson kept getting rebounds and position down low and then hitting players. And it was just crazy all over the place. And Duke kept sort of coming back. Duke sort of kept it close. It was, these games always live up to the hype, and it's always like a last-second game, and it's always, you see it happening, and it's just great to see this type of game in college basketball, in a February, right, a month before March. You see these teams, they're competing hard, they're playing well, they always do. And, yeah, Grayson Allen missed a clutch 3, and then you got the other dude on their team, number 15, missed the clutch 3, and they kept missing a bunch of threes back and forth, or else Duke would have had a chance to win this game. These are the type of games that, like, one play, you miss one play, and the game completely swings. I saw the statistic, 50 versus 51. North Carolina is now in the lead all time and has 2 more points. 1 more bucket. That is extraordinary. A great college basketball rivalry. Those are the type of games you want to watch. And I think it wasn't a Mike Krzyzewski overcoaching. I think it was just UNC outplaying Duke. I know Duke is obviously on a bad streak right now, so I think Duke needs to pick up the pace. Duke, that's a huge loss for their March Madness seeding. I just don't think in the ACC right now, Virginia is balling up, and Virginia might get the number 1 ranking next week, which is good for Virginia. But I don't know about Duke right now. Duke obviously is more of a March team. Marvin Bagley's playing very well. He had 16 rebounds yesterday. They're playing well. They work well as a unit. It's just they have to play harder in these type of games. In these games where you see them, trying hard, putting out the effort. But you have to play harder in these games because Joel Berry, the senior experience by North Carolina, helped them win this game. They were up big, and then they sort of lost the lead, and then Duke was sort of coming back, and then they went back up, and then Duke was coming back. So it was a back-and-forth second half. Obviously, like I said, Duke missed a bunch of clutch shots late, missed a couple of threes late, and, it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You play zone, you do what you do, you come out with the schemes, and, 2 great teams, you put it all out on the floor, and then what happens, and I think what just happened here was Duke just got a little lazy. I felt like in the second half, Duke didn't, come out with the same fire. UNC knew they were playing at home. They used their home crowd. They sort of sparked it. It was a huge win for UNC. They've been dropping some games, to Wofford and, all these like terrible non-conference mid-major teams. So I think this is good that they're, starting to get some good wins, gaining some composure right before March. And I think for Duke, it does do some stuff to their March Madness seeding, and overall, I do think they have a little bit of problems here and there. I don't think this is as strong as Duke team, but I still don't think Duke has any problems. I think this is just a well-competed game, and Mike Krzyzewski versus Roy Williams. You got one of the best coaching rivalries as well, and March 3rd is going to be fun when they take a rematch. But I just think in certain games, you watch the way the game is executed, you watch the way the game is played, and you can usually tell which team is better and which team has more experience. But usually in these type of games, it comes down to like that one player. You see that one hustle, and you're like, all right, this team's gonna win, because you see the amount of work that these players put in every day, and some people show it on the court in these type of big games. Like Kenny Williams was off before, and Kenny Williams scored 20 points and hit 6 threes. Luke May was getting rebounds. Cam Johnson was getting rebounds. Theo Pinson was being really active. And Joel Berry was hitting shots. And, you just got to – it just comes down to whoever's leading the team. And I felt like Grayson Allen didn't really lead the team last night. I think they sort of hit a rough patch in the second half. They didn't score many points. They were trying to – they weren't, like, trying as much as they were in the first half. In the first half, they came out with the amount of fire. But, college basketball, it's always the second half that matters. And I think North Carolina knew that this was a game they needed in the ACC to stay within in the standings. And I think they did a really good job of knowing that they were, they had this. They had to win this game, and I think they came out with the right amount of fire. I think Duke came out with the right amount of fire as well. I just felt like in the second half they felt a little flat, and that allowed UNC to come back and win this game. I think UNC obviously is a huge win. I think March Madness seeding is going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun from here on. ACC, Pac-12, and Big East. I think it's all going to be really fun. This conference seeding and how the big picture will shake out towards the end. So we'll see what happens. Good win for UNC. It's a resume win, and Duke needs to pick it up.